This is your social studies class. Today we will learn about democratic government. Our topic is democratic government. What do you understand by the word democracy? Democracy means the rule of the common people. Democracy means the rule of the common people. The word democracy comes from two Greek words, demos and kratos. Demos means people and kratos means rule. These two words together mean rule of the people. India is a democracy. Now, basic features of a democratic form of government. What are the basic features of the democratic form of government? First, it is both the right as well as the duty of the people to participate in the running of the government. It is our duty to participate in the running of the government. Which government is running, which government is going on, that is our duty to participate in that. Second, elections are held to choose representatives of people. So, in democracy, in that countries, elections are held to choose representative of people. For our representative, we are people, no, we are the citizen. So, for our representative, elections are held. We are giving vote and we elect our representative. These representatives are chosen by the people. People make their choice by voting. All citizens 18 years and above have right to vote in an elections. So the citizens, those are of 18 years and above, they all can vote. But below that, you don't have the rights to vote. Third, the political party that wins the elections form the government. This government is elected for a fixed period of time. The government's policies and decisions take into account the wishes of the people. In a democratic government, everybody is equal in the eyes of the law. So, in democratic government, where the democratic governments are there, everybody is equal in the eyes of the law. It does not matter whether you are a woman, rich or poor. All are equal in democratic government. Okay, which religion you follow and what work you do. It is not the matter that what you are doing, either you are rich or poor, or you are man or woman, all are treated equally here. Our democratic government governs according to the constitution. So, in a democratic government, you have to run your country according to the constitution. What is written in your constitution, according to that you have to run the country. It respects the right of its citizen, and democratic government, they respect the rights of its citizens. Citizens, we are the citizens, and they respect our rights. Now, next is India's democratic government's features. India's democratic government features. Some features of India's democratic government are as follows. Central and state governments. Central and state governments. India is divided into 28 states and 8 union territories. Now it is extended. Okay. Before that there were 28 states and 8 union territories. Now some more union territories are there. So the Constitution of India provides for a government at the center. The Constitution of India provides for a government at the center and one in each state. So this is called the federal structure. The Constitution, according to our Constitution, because we had democratic government, so we follow that rules, and in our Constitution it is written that a government at the center and one in each state. We have government at the center and one in each state. Like your state is Uttar Pradesh, so there also one government is there. This is called the federal structure. So the Constitution of India provides for a government at the center and one in each state. No, that is called the federal structure. This has been done to govern the country properly. Why we are appointing that government at the center and one in each state? To run our country properly. The powers of the central and state governments have been clearly written down in the Constitution, and the powers of the central and state governments have been clearly written in our constitution. What are their powers? For example, defending the country is the responsibility of central government. Whose responsibility is to defend the country? That is the responsibility of central government. While maintaining law and order within a state is the duty of state government. So what is going on in the state? That is the duty of state government. The central government helps the state governments whenever the need arises. So whenever state governments require their need, so who has? Central government has the state government. The president is the head of the country. Who is the head of the country? The president. Our president is the head of the country. In the states, the governor is the head. And in your state, who is the head? Governor is the head. Now, three organs. What are the three organs? The Constitution of India has divided the powers and functions of the government, both central and state government, into three organs. Firstly, what happened? The Constitution had divided governments, that is the central and state government. Now again that central and state governments, their functions is divided into three organs. What are three organs? That is legislature, executive, judiciary. Legislature, executive, judiciary. So what is the work of legislature? Makes law. Legislature makes laws for us. They makes laws for us. Executive enforces the laws that the legislature makes, and judiciary helps citizens understand the laws. Judiciary helps us to understand the laws, protects the fundamental rights, and settles disputes. Disputes means fight among the peoples, fight among the industries, that is the disputes. Now legislature at the center. Now what is the work of legislature at the center? The central government or the union government makes laws for the whole country. We know that central government works for the whole country. Central government is also known as the union government. Central government is also known as the union government, and they makes law for our whole country. This law making body is called the parliament. So that central government who is making laws for the whole country, that is also called the parliament. And parliament, our parliament consists of President of India and two houses. And which are that two houses? That are Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The Lok Sabha is the highest law making body in the country. Which is the highest law making body in the country? Lok Sabha. It is also known as House of the People or the lower house. So you can get the question, what is known as the House of the People? So the Lok Sabha is known as the House of the People or the lower house. The Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. The members of two houses are called members of parliament. In short, MPs. So you have studied here, the Lok Sabha is the highest law making body in the country. It is also known as House of the People or the lower house. The Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. Lower house is the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. The members of two houses are called as members of parliaments. In short, MPs. M stands for members and P stands for parliaments. At the state level. Now what is the work at the state level? Every state has legislative assembly, that is Vidhan Sabha. Legislative assembly, in Hindi we say it Vidhan Sabha. It makes laws for the state. Legislative, it makes laws for the state as you have studied just before now. The members to the legislative assemblies are elected by the people of the states. The members of the state legislature are called members of legislative assemblies. So the members to the legislative assemblies, what is the work of legislative assembly? Makes law. Okay. And the members of legislative assemblies are elected by the people of state. Who is electing that members of legislative assembly? They are elected by the people of the state. Okay, people, those are living in that state. The members of state legislature are called members of legislative assemblies. So those are the members of State legislatures are called as members of legislative assemblies, in short MLAs. M stands for members, L stands for legislative, A stands for assembly. Now next is this is our parliament house, and after that we are going to study about the executive. So what is the role of the executive at the center? The president, the vice president, the prime minister and the council of ministers form the union executives. Who all are making the union executive? The president, the vice president and the prime minister and the councils of the minister. Second rule of that is the political party that gets the maximum vote in the general elections from the government. The president appoints the leader of that party as the prime minister. The political party that gets the maximum votes. The party, those are getting maximum votes in the general elections, forms the government. They are only forming the government. They are making the government. The president appoints the leader of that party as the prime minister. And our president appoints the leader of that party. Which party? Those have got the maximum votes, and as the prime minister. He is assisted by the councils of ministers. The prime minister and the council of ministers are responsible for smooth running of the government. So who is responsible for the smooth running of the government? The prime minister and the councils of ministers are responsible for the smooth running of the government. They are responsible for our government. At the state level, the governor, the chief minister and the council of ministers form the state executive. Who form the state executive? The governor, the chief minister and the councils of ministers form the state executive. The chief minister is the leader of the party that has got the maximum votes in the assembly election. He is appointed by the governor. The chief minister is assisted by a council of ministers. They are responsible for governing the state. So the chief minister is the leader of the party that has got the maximum. In the state level, the prime minister is the leader, and in the state level, the chief minister is the leader of the party that has got the maximum vote in the assembly election, and she or he is appointed by the governor. See, prime minister is appointed by the president and chief minister is appointed by the governor. The chief minister is assisted by a council of ministers and the prime minister is assisted by the councils of ministers. Okay, they are responsible for governing the state, and here the prime minister and councils of ministers are responsible for governing the state. The civil servants, both at the center and in the state, both at the central level and at the state level, civil servants, they ensure that the policies of the governments are followed. They should know that these central and state governments are following the policies or not. Now the judiciary. At the center, the Supreme Court in New Delhi is the highest judicial body in our country. Which is the highest judicial body in our country? Supreme Court, which is in New Delhi. It gives the final judgment in any legal case. The Supreme Court gives the final judgment in any legal case. They only decide finally in any case. The Chief Justice of India is the head of the Supreme Court. Who is the head of the Supreme Court? Chief Justice. And Fatima Bibi, the first woman judge of the Supreme Court. Who was the first woman judge of the Supreme Court? M. Fatima Bibi. Now at state level, high courts are there. At the central level, Supreme Courts are there, and at the state level, high court is there. If high court is not able to take the decision, then you have to go to Supreme Court. Okay, the high court is the highest judicial body in a state. It is in a state. There are also lower courts in every state. Each district in the state has its own court. So each district, like our Basti district is there, so each district in the state, they have their own courts. The Chief Justice is the head of High Court. Who is the head of High Court? Chief Justice. And It is to be remembered that the government works at the local level, village, towns and cities as well. You will read about it in higher classes. So we will read about in higher classes about how government works at the local levels, villages, towns and cities, like panchayats and all are there, no? So that you will learn in the higher classes. Now, responsibilities of a citizen in a democracy. So this is your judiciary, that is the Supreme Court, which is in New Delhi. Now, responsibilities of citizens in a democracy. Our responsibility, we are the citizens of India, and so we have so many responsibilities. First one, the responsibilities of citizens in a democratic government as follows: respect the constitution and obey the laws of the country. We should respect our constitution and obey the laws of the country. Which laws they have made, we should follow it. Take an active interest in the affairs of the country and put the interest of the country above everything. You should put the interest of the country above remaining things, okay? And you should take interest in the affairs of the country. Cast vote responsibly and pay taxes honestly. We should vote responsibly and pay the taxes honestly. Perform the fundamental duties. Promote brotherhood despite different languages, culture and religions. We should promote that despite of brotherhood, languages, different languages, cultures and religions. We should not think that the other languages and cultures are not good. This way you should not think. You should promote every language, every culture and every religion. Respect the national anthem. We should respect our national anthem. Here some anthem spelling is wrong, so children, ANTHEM, you have to correct it. So here our class is over, and already I have given you notes of the lesson. Complete it. If you have any doubt, you can ask. So thank you here. Bye.